Yo, what's up guys? JetXC here, man, and we got a BrownDust2 roguelike content video. They actually did a preview video going over some of the content, so I actually watched some of the basics of the whole thing, and I'm going to try and explain this to you the best way I can and just summarize everything. Now, if you've ever played roguelike content in gacha games, just think most recent examples I can give is, and I'm going to mute this while it plays. I'm going to give the example of Elusive Realm and Weathering Waves, and I'm also going to give like something simple like Simulacrum and Goddess of Victory Nike. But yeah, the most recent example I can give you is Weathering Waves. So essentially this is a piece of content where you go through multiple floors and multiple challenges. When you complete each floor, you get different buffs, you get different things that you get to add on to your team. So that's what we're going to go over here now in just a second. So this is a pretty much an hour preview of how this mode works. So I'm just going to skim through certain parts to explain everything to you. And yeah, and then I'll just show some of the gameplay. But I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to watch the whole thing. So I'm going to turn on the volume. Alright, let's go over here. Okay, so first off, you go in Evil Castle to enter, right? Now, the layout for Evil Castle is different. Now, in the middle here is Tower of Salvation. That's what the new mode is called. Tower of Salvation, and then everything else like Tower of Pride, Evil Cat, like all the other stuff, that's in here. But here's Nebris. So Nebris is somebody you guys are familiar with. This is her alternate costume. She is the, oh my goodness. She is the main Gyaru girl NPC for this, so she's the character that you see when you enter Tower of Salvation. Now, as you can see here, it's got a guidebook that they're displaying. There are multiple floors. Each floor has different difficulties. Now, I can't read this because it's in Korean, obviously, but they did explain that some of the floors you have a decrease in gold that you can earn, or a decrease in currency that you can earn. There is an increase in the amount of health a certain NPC characters can have in general. So there's a lot of different buffs the enemies will get as you climb all the way up to floor 10, and they'll explain everything as you get higher up, right? So level 10 is the last floor. That's the hardest difficulty. Now, when you clear this, you get a certain amount of gold and you get this currency here. I don't know what this currency is called. I'm forgetting the name. I'm blanking, but I'm sure I'll be able to remember in a second here. But when you get this currency, you will be able to use that currency to buy certain buffs for each run that you do in the Tower of Salvation here. So essentially, they're just explaining that, you know, level up, the harder battles is on the harder floors, essentially, right?
설계를 했고요. 네, 이미 이제 데이터 같은
So we're going to now over here they're going over the rankings. And then this right here is the rewards that as a group of players you'll be able to get. So it's interesting. So I guess in a sense they'll be gathering the amount of points that players earn, and as long as they get a certain amount, they will be able to earn this amount of gold. So if it's 8 million, they'll earn 8 million. 10 million, they'll earn 10 million. And this is like a combined effort of like all the players that participate in the roguelike content, right? The roguelike content resets every month. Every 28 days essentially, and yeah, depending on the final score that everybody gets, that you will be able to get a certain amount of gold as a reward. Now again, rankings are separate, but the overall reward as a group, as a community, we will get in terms of gold. So if we continue on here, let's take a look. I might have to just skim this. So over here now, this is a page that lets you look at stats. Now, he's basically explaining that playing Tower of Salvation allows you to earn currency in the upper right-hand corner. This is that currency. It's some kind of stone or something like that, but you'll be able to buy a certain stat before you go into this Tower of Salvation. Now, looks like here you've got like maybe a defense stat, attack stat, healing stat, 20 plus 20%, you know. So it all depends on what you want to do for your run, right? So pretty cool stuff. And he's kind of going over each one. And now, here's the cool part. Now, when you start the game, and I'll play this, you get to choose 5 different costumes. Therefore, you obtain a character by selecting the costume. Now, let me explain this. So, you will be able to choose, like you said, 5 different costumes. Each time you select a costume here, like say you select Lathel. After Lathel, they show you another set of 4 costumes. Then you select the second one. You keep going until you have 5. Now, these costumes are This is interesting. So this is where it kind of splits off into more casuals and to more hardcore players. If you have the characters in the game with the multiple costumes, you can get that character with the multiple costumes. What I mean by that, this person here has +5 Lathel, +5 Rafina, and +4 Ro. If you don't have a character, it will be +0. You'll still be able to use the character, but it'll be +0, and you won't have the potential unlocked for that character. Now, the only thing I'm not 100% sure of is whether or not, even if you have the character, if it will change between +5, +4, if that'll be randomized, or if that's just showing the value of the character that you have, right? So let's say I have a +5 Dalvi. If I go into roguelike mode, will it randomize and show me, oh, you can only choose +3 Dalvi here or +4? Now, I don't think so. It sounds like, based off of what they're saying, all the stats that you have for a character will apply to the battle. So if you have a potential for your character, let's say you've got Thick Tia, the new Justia, let's say you have Thick Tia as +5 and you've got her potential, that should apply for the roguelike mode, right? So essentially, if you play the game, you will be able to clear up the content a lot easier. That's what that means. So another incentive for casual players to really like lock in and play the game, right? So he's going to choose, I believe he chooses Lathel here. Let's see. Yeah, he chooses Lathel. They talk about how like buff supports are really good. So, or no, I think he chose, okay, he chose Rafina. Now we got another set. So you got another choice. Here's the third choice, fourth choice, fifth choice. Right? So, and now here's what the roguelike mode looks like. So you get to choose the path you go on. Now, what's pretty interesting is they basically tell you can plan your path. So maybe there are different things you want to run into. So let's go over this real quick. There are normal floors, and there are event floors, and there's like treasure rooms. A normal floor is essentially something like this. This little statue here is a normal floor. Now, if you beat this normal floor, afterwards you'll be able to choose another costume, right? So you'll be able to choose from another 4 costume to basically join your roster. Now, if you chose a character like Rafina or Lathel within your beginning choices, there's a more likely chance for you to get other costumes of that character when you're going through these floors and you defeat a normal floor, right? So keep that in mind. Now, there's another thing called Relics. This is really important. Relics are essentially a gear in this game. Now, a cool thing is this mode relies more on costumes rather than gear. That's what they really explain. So don't worry about you having to gear up a character. This mode relies on you having a character and their potential and how many costumes you have for them, or how many amount, like +5, +4, whatever, right? As you progress through event floors and bosses, you get relics, which are basically items. Now, event floors is this little question mark right here. Those are event floors. And then after every 10 battles, right, basically when you climb to the top, the boss that you face at the end, you'll be able to get a relic. And I'll show you guys what relics look like. Now, those are relics, and those are normal floors. Now, the event floors, when you beat the event floors, you have a chance to get relics. Now, on the event floors, you could get a relic. You could have a chance to get increase in HP or a decrease in HP, or a battle could happen. So event rooms are very random, right? So actually, I think they run into an event room first. Let's see. Yeah, so this is an event room that they run into, I believe. Let me make sure. Oh, no, this is a normal battle. It's a normal battle because afterwards they get to choose a costume, right? And after that... Okay, hang on. After that, I believe they run into an event floor. Yeah, okay, so this is the event floor. So, event room... So let's see what happens. So essentially in the event room, okay, they didn't go through a battle. So they are actually in a shop. So they have a choice of getting, this seems to be like, apparently this is like attack increase. I think this is like magic increase. Now this is a 60% chance to get more health apparently, and a 40% chance to lose like 50% of health or something like that. Right? So this is like a roll basically. So you basically got to play RNG with this. And then this here, I think this just might be like you can exit out, but essentially you can choose any of the three, and the guy chooses the attack buff here, or the physical buff, I should say. Now, after that, now there is another thing. He continues on in the Tower of Salvation, guys, and he goes to a treasure room. Now, when you beat an event room, there's a chance that a treasure room will spawn, and it will unlock. It doesn't unlock all the time, but there's a chance. In the treasure room, you have the opportunity to go in the shop. And there's this, like, game currency here that you use to buy currency, essentially. Right, so you can buy currency, you can buy relics, which is this gear here, for example. Looks like you can buy some type of buff there too, so there's quite a few things that you can buy with your currency. Obviously, you can buy costumes, so they're kind of going through it. Right, and they also showed an area where you can look at the costumes that you already have and the buffs that you already have with these little selectors right here. Right, so pretty cool. And again, if you played a lot of gacha games, this is pretty standard for like roguelike mode stuff. Okay, so it looks like they go through a normal battle here. I'm just gonna fast forward real quick. So okay, they beat it. Here's the currency. That's the, by the way, this currency is called Lost Silver. This will allow you to buy stuff in the shop that you just saw earlier. So that was a I believe it is a event. So it's not a normal battle. Oh, so one more thing I forgot to mention. There's normal battles and then there's elite battles. So I might have confused this. Normal battles, that's the one where you choose the costumes. If you beat the elite floor within the roguelike content, it's similar to normal battles, except it's a little bit harder. If you beat it, it will allow you to get a relic. And these are the relics right here. So event rooms are randomized. Right, and there's a chance that you get to go to the shop for the event room, right? So, and then elite rooms are similar to normal battles, and you're able to choose a relic. Now here they're going to the next floor, so it says when you clear an elite room, a treasure room's created. You can enter the treasure room without moving. So essentially, okay. So I think I mixed up something again, so apologies, guys. I really do apologize. So last thing here, there's a shop that you can go to on these floors, right? I mixed up the shop and the treasure room. So when you defeat an elite room, there's a chance that a treasure room will spawn. However, for a shop, that can be depending on wherever you are within the path. So a shop, you're going to use your currency, and then for this treasure room that has a chance to spawn, you can get relics. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. But yeah, again, sorry for that little mix up there. I got confused myself. Again, I'm trying to read the translations here and kind of pay attention too. But yeah, they kind of go through each floor here, and you can check out the battles. They progress and progress and progress. They go and fight here. He chooses a costume since it was a normal battle. It looks like he's going through each of these, and he chooses, let's see what he chooses. He chooses a Rafina, Gamer Girl Rafina. And then he continues on and on and on. And then I think, is this a normal floor? I believe so. Yeah, it's a normal floor. He chooses another costume. So yeah, they essentially go through this. And then I'll show you the end here. He faces off against a boss. And of course, when you defeat the boss here, you will get... let's see what this is. So you beat the boss. Now you get a relic for defeating the boss, like I said earlier. But yeah, guys, that's essentially it. I mean, again, please take a look at this and go through everything. But yeah, that's essentially how roguelike mode is going to work. And as you progress and finish each roguelike mode to the top floor, you can go to the next level for roguelike mode. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Again, sorry for kind of mixing information up there. But again, this is like early info. It's in Korean. I'm translating. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I'm out, guys. Later.